So hello and welcome once again to my layout, New Junction. Now, as you can probably see, we've got trains running properly now. We've sorted the curves out, steam is now back on the layout, and, well, it's time to see if we can get some mainline down. So what did we do? Well, in essence, we've smoothed out the corner so that, in particular, the 2MT doesn't drag its pony truck round anymore. And I think, touch of wood, we might have got there. Now, in short, I was using second radius as a template. It's always a good place to start because, in theory, all locomotives out of the box, ready to run, should go around these curves. Although the 2MT was struggling. And what I tend to find is if that one locomotive struggles, others will in time. And because the curves are going to be underneath the mainline boards, I need them to be reliable off the bat, even though the heritage line will be running quite slowly. So what we did is we smoothed out the corners, proved the concept, as was recommended heavily in the previous layout update video. And now, as you can see, trains are merrily going around the corners. But I still need to do the opposite end. So what I'll do is I'll pause the trains for a minute and I'll show you how I went about it. So copying from what we did on the opposite side, I'm going to probably cut somewhere about here, bring the whole board this way, which will bring the ply out to here, and it'll give me more space to have a more relaxed curve coming out of the baseboard. Well, that's the plan anyway. So first step, I'm just going to remove the track pins and see if we can make it more relaxed. So as you can see, I have, well, as good as softened the curve as much as possible. Underneath this baseboard, which was fun, I've pushed the track as far out as possible so that it's more of a gradual approach. You can see it's much softer. Now, I've got the 2MT, which is currently causing the trouble, just coming round. Now, completely solved the other side, but I'm just going to pay close attention to the pony truck now and see if it doesn't like anything. It doesn't like it just there or there, so it's still, yeah, still riding up. Still far too tight. I'll just check how it is underneath. And in fact, it's got worse, it's derailed. So that just means that this is going to have to be made even softer. So you can see how much more the curve's actually having to come in. I'm going to trim the track down further around the corner. I'm going to shorten this board and bring it up. And there we go, seemingly we fixed the problem. So now it's time to get some trains running without worry. So moving on, two main areas I need to work on now. One is the station, and in particular the decoration for the station platforms and the station building, which I've now finished, and also the track work at the front, and of course these baseboards, which still remain unattached and unpositioned. So that's a good one I can do and let dry and whatnot. Of course, the big task I can now get on with the course, along with this, is the return corner on that side of the layout. Because the heritage line is now trusted, touch wood, trains can happily be left running. I can put the cover back on and not worry about it. So let's get on. So while other me is getting on with some of the hard work and getting on with the layout, I thought I'd talk to you about a fantastic offer that my viewers have been offered by Readly. Now, Readly is a subscription-based magazine service, a digital service, where they offer 8,000 magazines and newspapers for you to sign up on a monthly subscription, and well, you can feast on all of them if you wish. So as you'd imagine, my favourites include Model Rail and Railway Modeller magazine, which I can click on at the tap of a button, and of course I can go through back issues as I please as well, which is very handy, particularly as you can save articles and things and bookmark them as and when you see fit. So I mentioned Readly have offered my viewers a free trial of their service, which is available via the link down below in the description or in the pinned comment, which allows you to explore Readly yourselves for 2 months absolutely free. And of course, if you wish to continue it, then you can subscribe, or if you don't, you can cancel with no risk whatsoever. And of course, it's not just model railway magazines. There are also rail industry titles such as Rail Express and Heritage Railway magazines, which are perfect for scouring through to see if I'm recreating the right rake here on the layout. So if you'd like to take advantage of this 2-month free trial, which Readly are offering to my viewers, do click the link down below and enjoy the content. Worth a go. So, first loop in, really. It's only lightly tacked down at the moment, so as you can see, it's still raised in places. I'd always suggest when running trains, you might have issues if the track's physically lifting, so it's always worth just lightly tacking them down so that the entire piece of rail is flat on the baseboard. So, a few track laying tips for you now. I've done it a few times. The first one is to use a spacer where possible. So I use this, it was cut by PGM Models again, who does all my laser cutting. It's a simple tool, and what it does is it creates perfect spacing every time in between the various track. This has been predetermined to be accurately distanced while still allowing trains to pass each other without clipping, which is always useful if you don't have trains on the layout. Another little widget I've been using is this. Now this is from Westhill Wagon Works. It just looks like a plastic orange L, and what it does is you put your fish plates in there and it's the right height to then push into a piece of track. Now this saves a lot of the ball ache and the old stabbing in the fingers, you know, in the old days where you just force it in. So all you do is you line up your piece of track, fish plate goes in the hole, and then you push it in. Easy peasy. And I'll tell you, now my eyesight's going, now I'm getting old, it doesn't half make these things easier. And then the last top tip, when it comes to track laying, I have a track laying box. Now this comes with so many things from spare sleepers to track pins, but the thing I would suggest most is when you go to your local shop next, even if you're not planning on doing any track, always pick up things like packs of track pins, fish plates in various sizes. So you've just got a handful of them. So for example, this is code 100. I don't even use code 100, and I have 4 packs left over, 5 packs left over from the original New Junction. Now, there's nothing worse than laying some track and you get to the point where you've run out of fish plates. Now, believe it or not, that's what I've done on the bullhead rail. Can't believe it. So frustrating, because now I have to make the trip to a local shop, poor me, or order online a single pack of fish plates. But no, it's always worth having a box like this full of spares, and away you go. Avoid disappointment, and they're all in one place. It's time to continue. So I've done a bit more of the fiddle yard, and it's full-on testing time. So I'm just going to see how this 92 does, being a Coco, and this will be a freight line, don't forget, an up or down slow. And as you can see, that's entered a non-powered section, so it will stop. But while I'm here, thought you can see I've done 3 lines so far on the inside track, and right up there I'm sort of just running out of willpower. It's quite late at night. I'm currently doing this the day after a long drive back from Model Rail Scotland, so feeling it. Now, as you can see, I'll address the rabbit in the room. The 10 car Zoom Rate 100. Now, this wasn't my original one. I actually had a problem with my original one, and I had to send it back to Hornby, who were very good indeed, actually. So they replaced it, but they couldn't replace it like for like with the original 5 car. So they replaced it with the 801/2, which means it goes with the extra coaches. So I found these for an absolute steal from Tony's Trains. Because Tony's having a sale of a few bits, and this was one of them. And of course, right at home on the layout, as you can see. So next jobs here are to get these tracks powered. I'm going to bring the bus round, wire in the point, and then get the lines done, and also I'll complete the lines going the whole way round as well. But yeah, slowly but surely, progress is there, although I am almost out of track again, and you can see I've got a lot to go. So I might have to wait for a few more paydays before I can fully finish this fiddle yard scene, but enjoying the process. So also what you saw earlier is I put down the baseboard for the track on the bypass loop on the station. I'm just waiting for the various glues to dry on this, and then I'll commence laying track here properly. But of course I've got a sleeper space this because it's the scenic side, so I'll probably do that off camera. I've been giving painting a little go of the line. Now, the reason I'm not doing the whole thing at once is because this all has to come up. So, 2 reasons. One is because I made a schoolboy error. I laid it on cork. I meant to lay just the track on cork, not the station platform. So the height is just too high compared to the coaches. So yes, it's got to come up. But it gives me ample time to have a go at practicing the painting of Thirsk. And here's a question for anyone. Thirsk in its current day has a sort of giant yellow crisscrosses on the outer stones here. Does anyone know if anyone does a template so I can paint those on? As you can see, the station building also needs painting, and then windows putting in and the roof putting on. But that's going to come together very quickly. I've got some proper paints en route, and I'll get the whole thing repainted and done, so I'm quite excited about that. There's also been a few other additions on the front of the layout too. So if I bring you to the main scene now, as you can see, as I said earlier, I've just come back from Model Rail Scotland as I'm filming this, and I've picked up a few goodies. So I discovered Shed Ring Railways, Model Railways. It's a shop, and they do various things. Now, one of the things they do is giant trailers, double-decker trailers, which I quite enjoy, and I thought nothing says modern than an Amazon Prime truck, and I think you can get B&Q and various other things. They also do the tiny vans. Now, it's the first time I've ever seen a tiny van, but also with the opening and closing door, and they customise them up to be DB cargo, so it makes a nice little scene without having to go to too much trouble. Of course, I've picked up some cones as well, because they do a whole host of 3D printed items. Now, talking of 3D printed items, for those of you who follow on social media, you will have seen already that I've got the Oxford bin and the Bunter's Yard custom bins, but also now I've got the Shed Ring pre-painted figures, which are designed to fit the bins and the lorry, etc., which I think is quite cool. You'd think you'd be able to reverse up a bit more for that, wouldn't you? And they also come in a very handy, if I can focus, they come in a very handy little tub, which is very useful. Strip the foam out, and that's great for accessories. So I'll pop a link down below in the description. And lastly but not least, I want to say a big thank you to Dylan, who'd actually made these sleeper piles for the layout, and he has his own channel, which I'll put a link to down below. And I was past these at Model Rail Scotland. I'll tell you what, I'm very grateful, because they look right at home on the layout. So keep up the good work. Thank you very much for those. Really appreciate it. And there we go. That brings us to the end of another video. Hopefully there's been more than enough progress for you to keep you entertained. As I say, it's been quite the involving video. I know there's been a lot of time lapses and things, but progress has been continuing. As you can just see, trains are running properly now, and we can start focusing more on the main line as and when track arrives. So I'd just like to say a big thank you very much to the channel patrons, as always, for supporting this video, and once again to Simon for providing me with an extra box of track to help with progress, speed along, because behind the scenes it's just me otherwise, so your support is well received. Thank you to you at home for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you very soon in the next one. I'm now going to go and sleep because I'm knackered after Model Rail Scotland. Thank you. Bye for now.